get this party started.
Welcome back, kids.
Me, him, and a dog. We're gonna do it. And today, we're not talking about this pistol. We're not talking about this suppressor. We are talking about this light. A freaking flashlight, everyone. That's the subject matter of today's video.
In daytime.
In bright daylight conditions. So we will have some footage that gets blended in that we will be filming later tonight. Most of us shooting this is going to be in bright daytime conditions. So yes, feel free to get furious and angry down in the comments. We recommend it actually. So here's the deal. We're going to talk about the new Modlite pistol light. Yeah, I think there's going to be some ups and some downs, where there's going to be some twists and some turns on that video. Yeah. So we will talk about it.
But before we get into that, real quick.
I'm gonna hit him with something even before we do our thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna be non-selfish, because this video is actually brought to you by a company called Revival Defense, and it was maybe the actual first, like, sort of, you know, I don't know, brought to you by this company videos that we've done. So long story short, Revival Defense, they sent out the light for the video, and they actually sent out a second one that we were going to be doing a Patreon giveaway with.
That I was going to steal.
Yes.
But we are humble gods.
Yes.
And giving.
And I already told our Patreon guys that we were going to do it, and I can't get ridiculed by them because they're nice and we like them. But anyway, Revival Defense carries a lot of cool shit, stuff that you would know. A couple brands, just to list them off: Scalarworks, Forward Controls, Aimpoint, Arisaka, Modlite. Point being, hey, look, they're carrying really, really good stuff, so it's not going to be a cheap accessory shop. They're doing really, really good stuff. If you place your order before, what was it, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, ship it the same day. So that's legit.
You know what? I love it when companies do that.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's be honest, none of us like waiting. It's America. We want it, and we want it freaking
With Amazon Prime, everyone has to start doing that. So when companies do, I celebrate it. So good job, Revival.
So anyway, shout out to you guys. We'll throw a link below. You guys can go check them out. That said, our own plug, one more, and then I swear we're moving on with the video, which is if you need real estate help, let us know. That's what we do behind the scenes. This is like the sexy part of our job, and the unsexy part is doing home inspections with you guys. So anyway, that's what we do. Modlite, we really do not have any relationship there. Yeah, there you go. We don't really have any relationship there. So let's go ahead and get into it. This will be a relatively brief video. You ain't got no hands.
No, I'm holding the water bottle.
Good. He's got water. He's got to hydrate everyone. So here's the deal. Surefire X300 has sort of long been the gold standard for pistol lights.
Yeah.
It's what I've had. I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 X300s.
Even for some rifle lights. Some people run that.
Actually, I've probably got more like 4 or 5.
Yeah, because you can run it on a rifle, say that breaks, so on a pistol or vice versa.
Yeah, the versatility of it is pretty good, which you could make the same argument for this. We'll get into it. But hey, look, X300's sort of been the gold standard. Now, we have not been kind to Surefire when it comes to their lights. That's not because we dislike Surefire, it's just because their lights are a bit behind.
Some people are pushing the envelope a little bit more.
Significantly more, but anyway, we're not going to go down that today. So this is a long-awaited pistol light from Modlite. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of excitement about this as it was coming out. And look, there are some pros to it, and there's some definitive cons to it. And I'm going to kind of give you a fair shake on both, because to me there's very clear 3 cons to it. So here's the deal. There's 2 heads that Modlite runs on. There's the OKW, and then there's the PLH. There's nothing that direction, everyone, so everyone relax.
And you're unloaded, so.
Yeah, just so you understand. Okay, drop the hammer, make you guys happy. So there's the PLH head, which is what I'm running on, and then there's the OKW head. I'll be the first to tell you, so the OKW head is, think of it like a freaking laser beam, right? Yeah. Really tight hot spot that is gonna punch way out. Like, I mean, you can ID targets a couple 100 yards with that thing,
Which we have a video of.
Yes.
From last winter.
And while there is a couple dings that I'm gonna, you know, point out on this, I really like Modlite products.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit, like, really, really excellent products, really push the envelope on brightness and all that kind of shit, right? 2 heads, it's the same with the pistol light. It would be goofy to me to get a pistol light in the OKW head. Like, what am I trying to ID with my pistol that's 200, 300 yards away, right? It's
I can't shoot
silly.
further than like 15 yards anyways, so.
On a good day, right? So the PLH head is gonna have a little bit more spill. It is, in my opinion, the head that if you're gonna get the Modlite pistol light, get the one with the PLH head, right? It's gonna have a nice tight hot spot, but you are gonna have a little bit more spill there. The specs on this, 1,350 lumens, 54,000 candela. So it's got an immense amount of light that is pushing out into planet Earth, lighting up the things. It has a very, very, so if you look at, you know, whatever, I'm not gonna do the comparison game the whole time, but there's some lights that have a bit more of that warm yellow tone. Modlite is not that. It's that real, like, sterile hospital white light. Which
I like.
Yeah, it's almost blue.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Now, I think there are some limits in terms of it defeating photonic barriers with, you know, other opposing light and shit like that. Really not the purpose of this, even though you might want to look into that. We did play around with that on our Weapons Light series, which would have come out maybe, I don't know, January, February?
It was February of this year.
Yeah.
So last winter, like we were saying, but February of 2021.
Yeah, so we did show some of that. Probably not going to get too much into that in this video. It does come with an 18350 rechargeable battery. The price on these bad boys, $320 to $330. That really just depends if you get the charger or not. So I think they're appropriately priced. X300s, I think, run about 300 bucks. Like, it's, you know, it seems to be kind of the standard. If you want the good stuff, you're gonna pay about 300 bucks for it. That pistol light, obviously there's other options out there, but as mentioned, Surefire's kind of dominated the space, and I think this is certainly gonna take some of Surefire's market share. Before we get into sort of the pros and cons, which is gonna be relatively brief, I got a little surprise for you guys. Okay guys, so here's my disclaimer. I'm gonna give you a pitch. This is a pitch where I have no financial upside. I have nothing to gain from it other than telling you about something that we discovered heading into this where I was like, God damn, people gotta know about that product. So I started seeing it on Instagram. A couple people, one of the guys that writes for Recoil posted about it. It's called Paragon WLC, Weapon Light Cleaner. And it looked pretty awesome from the photos I was seeing. I was like, if that shit works as good as well as they're talking about, I was like, that shit's a gold mine. So I asked them, like, hey, send me a couple bottles. If it works, I'll plug it in the Modlite video. So I took my Range X300 that literally has been covered in carbon for years, barely even works anymore, disgusting lens on it, rubbed this stuff on it, which sounds super dirty, and then that is the result of this thing. So guys, straight up, occasionally there's little things in life that just make your day and make you happy. This stuff is like a miracle worker for lenses, so you don't have to do chapstick, all that kind of stuff. Again, no financial tie to it, guys. But I asked them to get a deal for our viewers. So if you go 1911 Syndicate, no space, lowercase on the Syndicate. If you buy 2, you gotta add 3 to your cart. They'll charge you for 2, give you the 3rd one for free. So won't cost you much, but a little lifesaver product. All right, back to Modlite.
Back to it.
Okay, pros and cons. I'm gonna start with cons because it's always more fun to end on good news. So let's get the cons out of the way. There's 3 distinct cons to this light, and to me, they're very apparent, and I don't really see a whole lot of room for argument on this. 1, no momentary. No momentary switching. So
that's a 3 strikes for me, man.
Yeah, so so the second one I literally just did. So no momentary. Typically on a Surefire, we'll talk about these switches in a moment, right? You would stage your thumb and you would just push your thumb for momentary.
Forward.
Right? Yeah, forward, right, to activate your light, right? So that if you're at it, if you do a low light course, I'm no instructor, don't listen to me, but most of the instructors that I've trained with, hey, you would basically activate your light, acquire your target, take your round, light off, and then get the hell out of Dodge, right? So that you're not...
Or at the very least, change elevation.
Something, right? Get away from where the light was just coming from. Problem with this is, of course, I can't do that because there's no momentary. So I've got to completely switch on, no momentary, big miss in my opinion, right? The second one, the switching is simply far too loose. So here's how this works. You simply rotate in either direction and the light will activate. And it is simply too loose. There is just not heavy enough of a switch. So,
and the reason why is if you activate that switch up, then you push down on it to turn it off.
Yeah.
You power through it.
Yeah. So here's what it means, right? So if I, let's just say, right, real world, take it to a real world scenario.
Sure.
I have this on a bedside, like this would be a bedside pistol that I might have, right?
Sure.
So, okay, let's just say that my love life was awesome and I had a family and I had toddlers in the house, right?
Dude, you and kids is terrifying.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a good dad, I know that.
No.
But let's just say that I did have a child, right? That I didn't even know about, right? So plot twist, I got a kid, right? Now the kid's living with me.
It's the sperm bank donations, right?
Yeah. Neither here nor there, but you know, someone breaks in my house at night, I've got my toddler, right? So I'm gripping them by like the hair or however you would move them around the home, right? So I'm like, Jimmy.
Are you holding them off the ground too?
I don't know. I imagine he's this tall, right? So I'm manipulating him. I don't know why because the way I'm doing this right now, he's actually in front of, between me and the target.
You can make more kids, so meat shield.
Yeah,
right?
so I'm moving Jimmy around the house, right? And I'm like, so I got one hand to work with, and I power my light on one-handed, and I'm like, okay, I eliminated the terrorist, right? And now I gotta switch my light off, and so I go to switch it off, and you power right through it, right? So it is so loose that one-handed, chances are you're just gonna power right by the actual offsetting.
Yep.
And eventually you're like, Jimmy, get out of here, and then you flip it to the actual offsetting, right?
That you have to use your other hand to stop it from powering through for.
Yeah, so look, it's simply too loose of switching. I hope you guys got the example with Jimmy there, just using him as a pawn in my hostage situation there.
Hypothetical scenario,
Yeah.
people.
That's 2. Number 3 is holster fitment. And so to my understanding, look, I'm not a Kydex guy, I'm not a holster guy, right? But to my understanding, it was kind of advertised that this was gonna work with your Surefire rigs, Safariland, stuff like that. It doesn't. But I don't know how else to say it. It simply doesn't. So I have immediately chalked this up as this is a bedside light for me, because the reality is I don't want to get new holsters made just for the sake of being able to run the Modlite instead of a Surefire.
Yeah,
right?
well, and to modify your current Safarilands is quite a process from what we've been told.
Yeah, so we were with Jeff from RDR Kydex last night because he was playing around with the light at a shop, and so he's like a full Safariland like SME, subject matter expert, right? He's like a Safariland, genuinely like he's good at Safariland shit.
Like a savant.
Yeah, and I mean, he was showing us about stuff that has to be shaved down to get this to work. Now, that said, again, believe it or not, guys, we promote a lot of shit that we have no upside in. We just try to tell you about good hacks and good shit. So he will mod that Safariland holster if you're like, hey, I'm gonna be running this, but I wanna buy a new holster. I know you could send him your holster, he'll mod it out so that it will run with this and it'll run totally fine at that point. Point being, it's a bummer that I gotta get either new holsters or mod my existing holsters just because I wanted to get a new bright light.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of sucks. So those are my 3 cons. The pros, hey look, there are some pros, plenty actually. One, out the front battery. So this is on my gun, I need to swap the battery out.
That is so convenient.
Done, new battery goes in, head goes back on, problem freaking solved, right? So that is a big plus versus having to take this whole thing off like basically, I think all the other lights off the top of my head.
Yeah, because the Surefire, you gotta drop the back end.
Yeah, disclaimer, I don't know how Olight works, okay? I'm not an Olight consumer, everyone. Have they sent us about a dozen emails asking us to represent them? They have, and we haven't done it because again, we're only gonna tell you guys about really good shit that actually works. So out front battery works very well. It comes with a set of like 3 different switches. Do you pronounce it Filster? Do you know?
Filster.
Filster.
Yeah.
That's how I've always assumed, but I've never really heard anyone say it.
P-H-L-E-S-T-E-R, right?
Yeah.
Filster.
Yeah.
Or is it P-H-I-L-S-T-E-R?
No,
Either
it's
way, I'd
PHL.
pronounce it Filster.
I say it Filster, right? If it's something other than that, you can yell at us down below.
Not an English major.
It comes with their set of switches, so it's got short, medium, long. These are the long switches. For just kind of what I'm doing, the long worked fine. In retrospect, I'd probably run the mediums. I think these probably, because they do extend on the long, extend past your trigger guard. So especially if you're running this with gloves or something where you just had more material around your finger, that impeding the trigger guard could be a problem.
Well, do you run that with your support side thumb?
Yes.
And you got those weird janky fucking thumbs.
So I'd be running it like that. And to turn this back off, now it's on, I'd use the bottom of, I'd use the knuckle. That's how I'd be switching this on and off.
Is that maybe why they did it that way? So your finger hits the trigger guard, which then stops the light from powering through?
I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. A couple other pros. It comes with something that is a great hack to me. So you see this little bar here?
Yeah.
This is where, of course, it's going to index with whatever your rail system is.
Well, dust cover, sir.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Sure. Dust cover. Your Glock has a rail.
There we go. There we go. I just had to throw that out there.
Our sophisticated 1911 crowd calls it a dust cover, everyone. So this comes with 2 of these little bars. Okay. One that goes on a standard pick rail, and then one that's universal. So you see that one, how it says Univ.
Univ. There's no just Univ.
Yeah, it's more Russian that way, right?
Well, Univ.
So this is the universal, and hey, look, straight up, some of my guns are a little bit problematic because they are not standard. You know, they're pretty unique, pretty like kind of weird, unique guns, right? With 1911s, 2011s, stuff like that. So the rails being a little bit different, I can vouch, hey, the universal rail I've run it on multiple 2011s, 1911s, and it does work. So that's a nice hack because pretty much whatever pistol you got, it's not this like that with Surefires.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can have some problems.
Well, my
Surefires
Glock Surefire will not go on my staccato. I got to switch out the stuff, which of course I Loctited it and threw it away.
Yeah. So that's a pro. The fact that it does come with universal and then a standard pick rail bar.
That is nice.
Beyond that, I would say, hey, look, another pro, it's aesthetically very pleasing.
Yeah.
Right? It's very, very nice looking design. I give them that, which is what I would expect from Modlite. Obviously, the output's great. There's nothing but that you can say to that but positive things. So, yeah, I mean, look, guys, the reality is we've got some pros and cons. I think I think it is a little bit of a miss. I think it's a little bit of a miss from Modlite because of the big three that we talked about. It has a lot of good stuff going for it. On a company like Modlite that has done such good work with product and everything, it's a little surprising to me that they had some of those, for me, kind of blatantly obvious misses. So, hey, take that for what it is. They're in the fortunate position of they have such a fan base that no matter what we say, people are still going to buy that.
Correct, and I don't blame them.
No.
But there's just some features that I would like in a light for when I play dress up in the desert, and this one just doesn't have it.
Yeah, or if I'm moving Jimmy around the house.
Sure.
Way.
What is cool about this is in broad daylight you can see it. Hopefully the camera picks that up, but if I point it at the camera, I for sure can see it on the camera. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, output is a non-issue.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
On this damn thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd say, hey, one last pro. Obviously, you could run that as a rifle light. It would be weird because, again, no momentary or anything. So you would essentially have this like on a pick rail and you'd have to be flipping it on and off. And see, I just tried to turn it off there. It like, God, the switching's just tough.
You have to consciously not power through it.
Yeah, so anyway, guys, hey, some pros and cons. You got an absolute fair shake on this video. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't, don't. I don't really care because you know what? It's your money. You're not buying it with my money, so I don't give a shit. Buy it if you want.
Yeah.
Revival Defense, they will sell it to you. They're cool folks. They're good. They're a new shop, and they're doing cool stuff, and that's a good place to go get it. So
yeah, I got to call him. I need some light, so I got to call him.
There you go.
So,
Problem
cool.
solved.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Tune in. I feel like we should tune in next week to hear us talk about something. Yeah. I don't know what. Something. We'll talk about something next week, guys. So anyway, take care. Hope you and your family and Jimmy's are well. See ya.
Bye.
In 10 seconds, answer me this. Kill, fuck, marry, energy drink brands.
Marry Monster.
Yeah, agree.
Kill Rain. Fuck Zions. Yeah. No. Sorry. Fuck the C2 ones, which is a supplement company. So they have like creatine and stuff in them. Those things get me wired.
You know what? I'll fuck bang.
I mean, makes sense. I'll fuck bang.
Yeah. I'll fuck bang. And I will also marry Monster, and I will kill one of the grosser things I've had in quite a long time. I had one of the bucked up energy drinks, and it haunted my dreams.
It tastes like battery acid.
Yeah, so they're a local company, so I don't think we're about to get a sponsorship from them.
We drive by their building every time from the airport.
So sorry, guys, but whatever flavor I had was absolute trash.
What's your favorite flavor of Monster?
I dig some orange stuff, man.
Oh, really? Mine's the new pineapple one.
It's tied for #1.
And then grape.